Not much action in the U.S. here today, but still could give us some ideas about what to do here. So good morning, Alexander. How are you? Lowell, gosh, haven't seen your name for a while. Kareem, nice to meet you. Richard, Sinatra, hi, Brock, been away for a while. Ryan and Jays are here, Hugo, the whole crew. How are you, Ryan? So I was thinking about this, we talked about the jailbreak in the dollar and basically the opposite in euro. And even though it got out of prison, Ryan, it didn't cross the moat. Nice. And until we get above, through the moat, you're not free. And, then you have to get through the dense forests or the hedgerows, like the guys on D-Day had to get through the hedgerows. But I think this is really the critical range, and we're on the verge of, if you wanted to call this a breakout, then you better buy this test of a breakout, which I'm not going to do. And during this, EG seems to be firming up. So, maybe cable has more ground to make up on the downside. I mean, even if I was bullish cables, I'd be looking to buy it down here around 34. It's a couple hundred pips from here, 230 from here.
That's half a day's work.
Yeah.
That's half a day's work in cable.
Yeah. And so, the scenario I think that could still happen basically is one more high in the yen. Yen's trying to dig, from Friday's low, you risk Friday's low. I still think we could get one more high in the yen. There's not much going on in treasuries because we're closed, but we did get another good push towards the highs last week. There's that candle. That was Friday. So, I mean, I wouldn't short this. So I think there's a shot for one more high in yen, maybe 117-ish. Still think there's a chance for another high in the dollar, wrong under these lows. That'll change the picture and take it to 3.5. And I even think there's a chance for new highs here as well. So, one more rally and risk. And, if the argument is true that part of the dollar weakness is money flow, and foreigners that are parked in FANG stocks. So as they sold off tech, demand for the dollar dropped. So, if we could get a rally out of Apple, which, still only has 2 drives. Microsoft's been very weak and trying to recover, and we never diverged up here. You could call this a divergence, but it was over 80 and never made new highs. So why can't we have one more hurrah across the board, Ryan? That's kind of what I'm thinking here, that another wave in the dollar, yen, and that would probably translate into another wave down in the metals. And silver still, even though we rallied last week, it's still trapped in its prison here.
Yeah. And
if they're going to get out of prison here, they're going to have to dig a tunnel. Okay, Ryan, if I use this enough prison metaphors, they're going to have to tunnel out under support at 2180.
Not the Great Escape.
Yeah. So anyway, maybe it's because after 2 years of COVID, prison seems to be kind of I know you young guys don't care. You're out there kissing everybody, but I kind of hide out. Anyway, I'm losing it. So, what are you thinking coming in here, Ryan? Counter arguments to what I'm saying here?
No, we've had a bit of a snapback. I think we had one of those potentially overreaction days on Friday. Particularly with dollar yen and crapping out. We had the extra kick from the Reuters story on the Bank of Japan. Maybe have to start discussing easing. We obviously got the Bank of Japan coming up early as of tomorrow morning. So all eyes on that to see if Kuroda says anything about that, or whether it's just keep the status quo. It's like we said last week. You think you're getting a break, you think you're getting the prison bust, and then it gets to the first decent level, and runs into trouble. You know, we were saying about you know, the DXY. If it's going to break that 94.50 level,
Yeah.
You
Then
know,
you got problems.
Euro dollar's going to have to break that 15 handle, you know, 1.15 handle, and it didn't. So you've got the perfect technical support level there in the DXY, and you know, 80, 85 in Euro dollar was as high as we got, and that we give it all back again. You know,
You know how once in a while you draw a level, a line, you know, whatever you want to call it, a range, you know, support resistance, and you're like amazed by even to the pip how it works. So I had this line drawn and we had this breakout day, and I knew it was going to hold because when it pulled back intraday, look at what it held. It held that line to a T.
Price action at its best.
Yeah, and then here we are again.
Yeah.
So it means something. The 1393 level means something.
Yeah, it's. I love it when it does it perfectly. You know, that's you know.
It still surprises me.
Yeah, it's a technical analyst's dream, isn't it? If you know want the tech to work, that's how you want it to work.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know.
This is the day I knew, because on the pullback, you know, it started putting in an inside candle after this push, and it held this number. So I knew it was significant after that. I didn't know it was significant on the initial pop through, but on the next candle, when it held it, when they tried to sell it off, then I go, yeah, you know what, this is important. Yeah.
Confirmation. I mean, I'm sort of half tempted about whether to have a long here. I still fancy Euro dollar a bit lower. I don't think it's done going down yet.
Me either. Yeah.
And so I'm looking for that. You know, it's one of those things. Do I trade the tech here, or do I stick with the longer term picture and try for that trade? Which, as you know, I'm fairly bullish, the same as a few of the others here. Euro dollars, we just want better levels to get in at for the longer term.
What any fundies that could drive the dollar higher, and could it be the BOJ does it, or any other major news events that might drive it?
Particularly for the yen, and you know, if they don't mention anything about this story about, or if they don't mention anything about looking to tighten or decide about looking to tighten, you know, the talk about thing, then we could see dollar yen, you know, jumping back above 115 and having a little run up. But that'll be more from the yen side rather than the dollar side. And I'm getting cautious about the dollar. You know, we've come through all these different events that are dollar bullish, and we're not going up. And you know, we've got some banks calling for 6 hikes this year. I mean, it's getting bonkers now. Bullard calling for 4 hikes. You know, there's so much stupid expectation coming in now. That's when I get nervous and I think, well, if the dollar's not going up on that, what is it going to go up on? You know, even if we've got 1 million on the NFP next month, I can't see the dollar ramping higher. I think, as you know, as Stell's pointed out for ages and ages, it's going to take yields kicking up properly. You know, if we get 10-year yields banging up over that 2% mark, then perhaps we might see another leg higher. But otherwise, you know, I'm pulling up my stops on my long-term dollar yen trade because I just can't see a reason why it's going to go significantly higher.
You know, if people had embraced this day as a break to buy in the dollar instead of the death of the dollar, I would probably be more bearish.
Yeah.
But I saw a lot of articles talking about it, you know, exactly what you're saying. The dollar hasn't been responding to bullish, you know, the interest rates and the hawks, and it breaks down. That's it. It's over. So it could be. But, you know, I saw a lot of people really embracing it prior that the dollar, this is a major dollar top, and saying that they had confirmation in one day that this was it. And now, you know, we're going 30% lower.
Yeah.
You know, the big dollar bears.
I think we also need to highlight the fact that it's not just about the dollar. You know, there's all the other countries. So as much as the dollar may not be going up on all the hawkish tilt that we're in, or the path we're on, it then becomes all about the others. When are they going to catch up? When's the ECB going to catch up? When are the RBA going to catch up? When are the Bank of Japan going to catch up? What are the Bank of Canada going to do? So once everyone knows what the Fed's doing, the attention just switches to all the other banks. And that's when you get the next round of expectation. So again, it's not, when I say, I don't expect the dollar to go up, it's more a case of I expect the other currencies to start gaining against it because of what they're going to have to start doing. The bank, the RBA still pulling their 2024 thing out, complete rubbish. Are they going to be forced to move next? We know that the RBNZ are already on a path. We've seen so many other central banks already hiking. So it's not just that, okay, the dollar's going to die. It's what are the others going to do?
Morning, guys.
Hey,
Morning, Stel.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm very well. I just want to add, I agree 100% on what Ryan is saying. And for me, the euro dollar, you too as well. You know that. Yeah. By the way, you sound a little bit far away. Have you stepped back a little bit?
Oh, my
there
mic
you
was,
go.
there. I'm so far away. Doesn't anybody stay in one place anymore? Anyway, I do. We've stayed here for a while.
I think the euro dollar I said it at the beginning of the year. I think the long euro dollar trade for this year, obviously there's going to be ups and downs, but I think it's a very nice risk reward trade as long as you're not looking to trade it for a day or a week. It's a double whammy, exactly what Ryan said. Not only has the market gone quite far ahead of itself in pricing what the Fed's going to give us, but also there's absolutely, well, not absolutely, but close to zero priced in for the ECB and other central banks. So I wouldn't otherwise be a huge fan of the trade, but the way I see things priced compared to what I think probabilities are, I really like the trade. And I'm not saying that the eurozone, oh yes, everything's great, nice and dandy, but I'm just saying that what the market's going to be pricing is probably going to change, and that's where you want to be. You don't want to be on the trade when things actually happen. You want to be there when the market starts pricing them. That's how it is. And Blake last week, who by the way sent me a message about an hour ago saying he was pretty sick, he felt pretty sick. His wife had I don't think it's COVID. She had some kind of bug, and I think he's got it as well. So he may not be joining us today. But Richard says a concert. Yeah, we're going to sing one day all together. Blake had been saying about being long the dollar for pretty much the whole of 2021, and it was the right trade. Now, the question is, will they deliver? If you had been long the dollar, you don't care now because you're taking your profits and you're out.
Right.
So that's where you want to be. So that's the reason why I like euro dollar. I also like euro pound. I know Ryan doesn't agree with me 100% on that. I had been bearish euro pound from, what was it,
Forever.
the 90s? Yeah. And I was talking about this 83 and a half area where it's going to be big support. I think we're going to hold there. And sorry, let me.
Yeah, maybe this improves with the dollar making a new high because cable's weaker than euro at this stage. That's what I would think, possibility.
Yes.
Because I don't know, you look at cable and for cable to make new lows, there you're talking about 500 pips. For euro to make new lows from here, you're talking about 250. So new lows on both of them, the pound has further to fall.
There's a volatility ratio between euro dollar and cable as well. If cable goes 50 pips, that's, like you say, that's 20 pips in euro dollar, and that's obviously going to have an effect on euro sterling. But Stell's absolutely right. I'm a bit opposite him on euro sterling. Well, I'm not. I share his sentiment. I just think the timing
early.
I think there's a bit more to go on euro sterling before I switch my shorts into longs. Which
you might be right.
Trades I'm gonna.
I think that'll be tested if euro makes new lows and trades under 111. So if EG is holding up then. And, actually it should hold up better now if it's going to be a turn. EG should begin to turn before the euro. In my, that's what I've seen many times in my career, is that you get the turn in euro pound before you get the turn in euro. Yeah. Or anyway, that's what I think can happen. But
Yeah.
Don't listen to me, anyone.
Mate, I always listen to you. I mean, 300 years of experience. You have to listen to that.
Yeah, you know, at my birthday, the way they can tell how old I am is they count the rings.
The rings. Nice.
Anyway.
So like Ryan said, it's a pretty quiet day today, and I don't expect it to be.
Well, the U.S. is closed.
The U.S. is closed, exactly. Martin Luther King Day, so it's going to be pretty quiet. We did get some data today from China. The GDP beat quarter on quarter, 1.6% versus 1.1 expected, 4% year on year. But they did also cut reserve requirements by a tiny little bit, but even so, the yuan is appreciating a bit. But overall, equities, futures are doing nothing. Cryptos are probably the only thing that's moving today. Bitcoin is down 1%, but it's still above that 40K level. It's 40K is really the I think the big level. If we drop below there, I think we're I'm definitely I haven't traded crypto, but I think I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna go short below 40K just for a little trade there. But
I know guys looking for 32 if you need a target.
Yep, that makes sense.
So there's something down there. I don't know what it is, but it could be wave counts or
Yeah,
I steal everyone's ideas in the industry.
Probably Elon Musk, isn't it?
I don't have an original thought in my head, so just call me a parrot. I'm the parrot, man.
Did you see, by the way, Elon Musk's latest tweet? It was so funny. There was some article on what's it, Bloomberg or somewhere, which said the easiest way to get fired from your job, tweet something, wait 5 years, and then somebody's going to see something and interpret it the wrong way, something like that. And then he quoted that on a tweet, and he says, "Thank God that I never tweet anything controversial."
Oh yeah! Oh my God!
The guy is funny. You have to give him that. He's really funny.
Yeah.
But so otherwise, I mean, I don't know what to do with today. There's nothing that I'm really looking at in particular. I don't know if you guys are looking at anything or Cayman or anybody, but I don't have anything that's on the cusp of getting triggered or anything. It's just we're just still in kind of a no man's land for me. Then again, my horizons are much deeper and than most people, so I don't look at daily moves to change my direction.
No, but it might be a bit quiet, but it does set things up. You have to keep an eye, because that's what the US can pick up the baton tomorrow. And kick on some of these moves we've got. Like we're talking about dollar yen, the bounce off 1350. That's pretty strong, whether the US is open or closed. And if they come in tomorrow and there's no reason to get back selling it, then we could have another leg higher.
Good morning, everybody.
Hey, K-Man, how are you?
Good afternoon, Stellios. Your horizon is like the Greek gods, several millennia.
In millennia, yes, you're right.
Yeah. As all of you were saying, it should be a quiet day today. So the first thing is BOJ. There's been a bit, I think, a mix of, in my personal opinion, a bit wrongly expectations that Kuroda is going to do something. He usually surprises markets. He doesn't say in 2 or 3 meetings we are going to raise rates. Now the one thing about this Japanese inflation slowly creeping higher is that, but that's one again for in a couple of months. Inflation has been pushed down a bit because last year the mobile phone companies were forced to lower their rates, give big discounts, and the market expects that we might have an inflation spike come around April, May, as those discounts may be phased out. But knowing Japan, they might be pressed into just keeping them rolling. I don't really expect too much from that. So my personal opinion is that those building up expectations into today's or tonight's BOJ are going to be disappointed. the 113.25 2050 zone was very big. We bounced up really fast. I wasn't on the desk then, and I didn't really have the chance. But if we get back down there, I might be buying a few dollar-yen calls for into the Fed meeting, into maybe even like 3 months or so into the end of the Japanese fiscal year. But besides that, the other thing I was just going to mention is that this week, the Fed is tapering a bit more as per their plan. So we are going down. We're like halfway now from this week. They are going to buy roughly $60 billion of assets per month, down from the original 120. So we are halfway. At the same time, that the U.S. Treasury should bring out this week their plans for their bond issuances. Last quarter, they lowered those bond issuances by roughly $84 billion. So that countered the Fed tapering, so to speak, and we're expecting what they are going to come up with should be this week as well. If they don't lower the issuances again, perhaps this tapering could have a little bit more of an impact. That's my thought. But for the rest, yeah, we're now really waiting for the slew of central banks to kick off, with the Bank of Japan starting, and then next week the Fed, Bank of Canada, Morgan Bank in between, RBNZ in between, you name it. So
can we see your see what you look at, your setup? You want to share your screen and show everyone how you mint money with your what you look at?
I'm going to ask to do a test run with Ryan one of these days, because my setup has changed and I'm not sure if I share my screen, which screen is going to pop up.
Oh, I see. You might show all your positions and everything. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Well,
and the porn on the other screen. Anyway, I understand, but it'd be cool to see it.
Everyone let's do it when we will have our chat, Dale.
Oh, okay. All right.
And then we can run over a few things.
Okay, cool.
So
Steve Volge's not around, and instead of Nick from In the Money Stocks, I believe I'm going to be speaking to Gareth. Can someone take over the screen so I could go send him a few messages? Make sure.
Sure.
Would you mind doing that, Ryan?
Yeah, give me a sec now and I'll get right on it.
See, so that's why I came up with that idea. I have to go hunt down, I'm Forex stop hunter, but I'm always also Forex guest hunter. Okay, so I have to go hunt down
Forex guest hunter. Nice. Nice.
Huh? Blake and I are competing over people now. All right. Anyway,
can you see that all right? Can you see that screen all right? Can you see my screen all right?
Yeah, I see it. See the black screen.
Yeah, I've just popped that up there because one of our
Ryan, can you bring up the $yen, please, for a sec?
Yeah, give me 1 second. The reason I pulled this up is because one of the people in the chat room. There we go. Let's get that.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Ryan.
Who was asking? Someone was asking about Guppy. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. I mean, Kay, you've probably got a bit better insight on this than me. I don't trade it that often, but for me, we've been holding this 156 level after a little dip. It's really between here and 157.5 and those highs.
Yeah, technically we're in a bit of a bull flag also if you look at where we're coming from in the longer run. But sterling yen is volatile. I think as long as we're above what is it, like 155-ish or so?
155, 155.50 sort of thing. Yeah, much on the wider,
but that's very wide.
On the very wide, talking down here at the 149s, 148s. Karim, if you're going to trade it, we like to keep it simple. Just trade the ranges. Pick your levels, know where your support resistance is, and just bang in
I
between.
know it's a volatile currency pair, so adjust your amounts.
Yeah. It's not one to get caught in the middle. So you either try it on the edges, or you wait and pick your bigger, wider levels. Dolly Yen, you wanted to have a look at?
I just wanted to show the daily cloud if you have it on. We bounced right off it on Friday.
Yeah, I don't have the cloud on here.
I think it's a pretty decent level. There's a few support trend lines there. The 113.2050 for me is the new 112.5 if you want.
Yeah. But there's been a couple of levels. We've got the cloud in euro dollar as well. I'll have to get that set up on.
Yeah, but I was looking at the yen since we have BOJ coming up, so I think it's a pretty important level around 113.2050, and then if you transpose that into the rest of the pairs against the yen, it's going to decide upon the crosses as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I still think we got my big level up here is this 114.50, 40.50 level.
That's the first one, yeah, right.
Big historical level. It's one I've been banging on about, as you know, since forever.
Unless BOJ surprises, my view, ultimate view is we are still going to go closer to 120.
Don't you think, guys, that obviously apart from the BOJ, this is just going to be driven by risk, as it has been for months now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but to counter,
But then you have the energy. Yeah, Japan is still a big energy importer, and you see the oil
going up. Yeah, there's more inflation coming in. We laugh and joke in the chat room. We laugh and joke about the Bank of Japan that we'll be dead and buried before we see them move on policy. But I think it's becoming a growing risk that they do pull something out of the hat at some point. They can't stay as they are forever. I mean, they're so far down the rabbit hole and have been since the first crisis, well before then.
My intelligence gathering has a lot of people looking for the top in yields, at least for this cycle, between 2.25. We're not that far away, and then a pretty good pullback in yields. A peak in yields, and then back down to 1%. Yeah. Some people have, counts like that. Yeah. So, we're probably much closer to the end of these yields going up, and then a pretty dramatic pullback in yields, which would be negative yen, right?
Do you
US dollar yen.
Those people, what's the timeline? Q2 this year that they are looking for the peak in yields, or?
I think it could be it could be in a month.
No, I don't believe.
Well, we're already at 180. 180.
They still need to start raising rates.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I think there's going to be a last effect of the actual rate hikes starting, and then I think there might be some either disappointment or looking through the event, but yields should not be capped until they really start, and we know the rhythm they are going to start to hike at, right?
So if we're at 180 now and we're going to have 6 rate hikes, where's the 10-year going to?
Probably -2%.
Well, we're pricing
at the moment.
We're pricing four now, right?
All right, so that's what I mean. We could go to 210.
Oh yeah.
And while the Fed's still raising rates, the market could have it priced in.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in the meantime, we will have more data coming out. Growth.
Yeah. Growth.
For me, that's still going to be my main benchmark. Is going to be growth and perhaps wage pressures but growth. If growth holds up.
Which kind of growth? The nominal one or the real one?
Cancerous growth a malignant growth on the global economy, Steve.
Steve,
don't you think?
The market does not trade real growth. They trade nominal growth, right?
Yeah, that is
trade real inflation. They trade what comes out on the screens.
Growth of ForexAnalytix looks pretty good for 2022. And you know what? We're either growing or dying, Steve. What do you think?
No disagreement.
All right. So
Depends on
we
your
have,
age.
Do you have your
Anyway,
guest here? Or,
yeah, Gareth is here.
Oh, Gareth's here. Great. I like Gareth.
Yeah, and everyone stick around for Gareth because he made some great calls. I caught his interview on Trader Summit, which you all should be going to for your intelligence gathering. And I'm going to make him a panelist and see where his head's at now. And that's going to be my new handle, Forex Guest Hunter. And hope you guys like it. I'm pretty funny I think I'm pretty funny today. How about you guys?
Absolutely.
Huh? I got it today. I have
You
the
do,
it.
you do.
Always
Yeah,
on
I'm a Forex guest hunter. And Gareth Soloway. You know what? It's the first time we've talked to each other in this way. Great to meet you.
Hey, great to meet you as well. Thank you for having me.
I feel like I know you through Nick for the last, 5-6 years. I've been interviewing Nick, and I figured, it's time to give Gareth a shot to try and fill Nick's shoes.
Wonderful. I'll do my best. I truly will do my best.
All right. Are you going to share your screen, Gareth?
Yeah, let's do that now. It looks like I can't share it. I need
Do I
to
need to do anything, Dale? Because I'm still got it.
Oh, yeah. You have to stop sharing.
Right. How's that? That worked?
So anyway, Gareth, I listened to your last interview you did with Blake, and you had this channel in the S&Ps that was very important to you. You're also talking about making your bearish case for Bitcoin. So you could try and share it now and see if
it still says you cannot start sharing screen while another participant is sharing.
All right, let me.
Oh wait,
I just took the screen sharing and stopped sharing. So
there you go.
Perfect. Yeah.
Right.
So here's the channel.
It held the channel after your interview.
There's the channel again. So clear. It's really, it always amazes me how the charts can stay within these ranges for such an extended period of time. I mean, this goes back to basically May of 2020, and it shows a very clear uptrend in the S&P 500 that hasn't technically broken. But I think it's important to kind of note that you can start to see weakening, right? So if you look early on, I mean, here we hit the lower trend line, here we hit it, and then over here, right? And then if you look at the top of it, we were always up against it, even along here, along here.
Great return line.
Right. And then all of a sudden, notice how you're starting to flatten out here. And you're starting to hit the line more and more, right? So to me, that's telling me this channel is getting ready to break. Now, whether it breaks on Tuesday, tomorrow, or in a week or 2 weeks, I'm not sure. But ultimately, it is going to break here. And it makes perfect sense considering what the Federal Reserve is doing, right? If you think about the Fed printing money, pushing so much money into the system for the last year, and finally they're saying, okay, we're going to pull back on that. So if the money helped inflate the market, then it only makes sense that if they reverse that course, it's going to bring the market in just a little bit.
Okay. Any shot for maybe, do you know where your trend line comes in? I know it depends on the thickness of your pen or pencil, or when you draw the line. Would you say that closing back under 45.50 would definitely be a breakdown from that channel?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, on the spiders here, it looks like right around 460, right around there. Anything in this range here would get you below it. I'd like to see what I call confirmation, which is a close below and then a secondary lower close. And the reason why I like the confirmation signal is because it takes away that question mark of, are they piercing the line just to rip it up? Or is it really a break by the institutional money? So yeah, I would say somewhere below 460 on the SPY would definitely get my attention in terms of a break point.
Could we make another trip up to shake out the bears that think they've got it right now and make
it certainly is possible.
Highs?
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing this market has taught me, I mean, going back to some of the previous all-time highs over the last, even 6 months, to me, I was, looking at the writing on the wall, and I was so sure that this would be the top, that this would be the highest point. And the market defied that, thinking for a long period of time. I think mostly because you had average investor money that just has been amazing in terms of how much money is being committed to the market from just, little investors. It's really remarkable.
I'm hearing inflows are still very strong. The January effect. They're still. Are you hearing the same thing? Big.
I am. The only thing I think is slightly changing here is that it does seem like the institutional players are much more on the sell side. So that's probably explains why you're getting this flatter top, which is again a perfect example of distribution.
Okay, and you were correlating what could happen in the market with your view in Bitcoin. Bitcoin's moved lower since that interview, hasn't it, Gareth?
Yeah, it certainly has. Let's take a look at that. So we've seen Bitcoin come in quite substantially from, the $69,000 high up here. One of the reasons why it's bouncing here, and then this is a level, believe it or not, I'm actually long right now on Bitcoin. Although I'm not looking for a big move up, I'm looking for maybe about 46,000. But one of the reasons I'm interested in this area, or at least I entered, was because if you look at the chart, there's multiple trend lines that converge right at this $40,000 level. So this one, which is just remarkable, going back to October of 2020, connecting through this low, and then you could see we hit it right here. And then there's also that flat top right here at 40,000, which was the range when we dipped initially earlier in 2021, and we had that big fall to 30,000 here. You could see that basically the market rallied up to 40, pulled back up to 40 again, pulled back to 30, then again 30, and then finally kind of broke out. So anytime you come back to those levels, that's usually going to be support. The fact that you were necktying, both lines converging right there, gave you a good area of support, at least in the near term. Now, I don't think it holds for a long time, but at least in the near term, it is major support on Bitcoin.
Yeah, I used to have a flat top as a kid, flat top haircut. And, you use that wax to kind of keep it, the front standing up, kind of like Wally Cleaver kind of haircut back then. So, I like the confluence that you have there. But are you seeing the same thing probably everyone is seeing, that this could almost look like a head and shoulders top with a 40,000 neckline and a 69, which would measure almost 10K? If it happened.
I mean, that is kind of what I've been viewing, and I've talked about that. So you can see a pretty clear shoulder over here, and then the head here. And then if you use this as the neckline here, or the little base, then you have this shoulder kind of formation right over here.
Yeah.
And again, you would probably use it kind of like right around here as your neckline. Now, to be honest, head and shoulder patterns are fun to talk about, but their failure rate is pretty high. So, it's better than 50% that they play out, but it's still not amazing. Maybe 60% of the time they play out, 40% they don't. But having said that, it makes a lot of sense that Bitcoin is going to go lower. I mean, look at the performance of Bitcoin compared to the stock market. Stock market's down NASDAQ's down 10% off of its highs. Bitcoin's down 30% or more. So you're already seeing that weakness there. And then just think about if you get a deleveraging event in the stock market where, we get a bigger drawdown, more panic out there. The margin levels have been astronomical for investors. And so if you just get kind of a retraction of that margin level, that's going to hit Bitcoin and the margins that are being lent out in Bitcoin as well. And it makes sense that you could see a drawdown to sub 20,000. So that's kind of, that's where I've been in the camp of thinking 20,000 or below is the ultimate downside move. A lot of people fight me on it, which is understandable because there's a lot of bulls out there, but that's what the charts are saying.
Yeah, I'm not going to fight you on it, Gareth. There's a lot of debate. After what happened last week, we're all discussing, was that it for the dollar? Does it have one more hurrah? You have any view on what happened last week with the dollar? Not real major follow through in the euro. Had a great day, and then trying to give it back. Let me curious what you're thinking.
Let's take a look. So you're looking at the dollar and kind of the rollover that it had late last week.
People are declaring it dead. They were bearish before the break, and now they're saying that's it. We're on our way to hell. The dollar's going to hell.
The one thing I will say about the dollar is that people have been saying that for a decade or more, right?
Longer.
Yeah, exactly. The dollar has always surprised people in that respect. Having said that, I do think that down the line, that's the case for the dollar, right? I mean, we just see the writing on the wall with the printing of money. Although granted, all major countries are doing the same thing. So it's not like the dollar is any different than the yen or the euro in that respect. But yeah, I mean, the short-term trend here, you could definitely see this. I mean, it looks to me like this trend line at least held pretty well. You briefly pierced it to the downside.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I think in the near term, if the markets do continue to get more dangerous, we see more stock market volatility, then it makes sense that the dollar would actually hold up a little bit better. But as my fear is that, or my thinking is that, down the line, as the Fed tries to raise interest rates, withdraws QE, lowers their balance sheet, the markets at some point will get so nasty and create such a spike in unemployment that the Fed will have to come out again with stimulus, with more money printing, lower interest rates, all those things. And then that's where, again, the continued demise, the longer term demise on the dollar occurs, right? So, in theory, if they're really going to be hard-nosed and raise interest rates and make, monetary policy much more hawkish, that would actually be positive for the dollar longer term. But I just don't believe that the Fed can ever get out of this mess cleanly,
Okay. So any belief in the miners?
Yeah,
They
I
Go ahead.
love, so I'm such a gold bull. It's the miners themselves, the GDX. I just love these patterns on the GDX. So if we just take a look at the GDX chart, right, and you look at this big move up we had from early 2020 to kind of the end of 2020, then this is all bullish consolidation. And it's been such a great digestion move for such a long time. And this meshes with the gold chart. The gold chart is very similar to this. So I think this is getting ready for a bigger move up. Which again would imply weakness in the dollar, at least from some respect, right? So yeah, I mean, I think the gold miners is a great way to be positioned, and I also think the GLD is a nice place as well.
Okay, from these levels, or do you think we could have one more shot down in there?
I mean, for me, let's go to the GLD, right? So the GLD gold chart will kind of be the dictator most likely of how the gold miners perform. For me, there's this trend line, and I'm watching it very closely. If we can break above this, then I think it's off to the races. As long as you hover below that line, you have to respect this wedge pattern. Wedge patterns now, overall, this pattern to me, since it's inside of a bigger move up, is bullish longer term, but you still could break it and go down in the near term. That is a possibility, maybe retesting this low right here before a bigger move comes in. So I would say the key on this is look to see which line you break. Which do you break to the upside? And then I think it's straight up you go, or do you break to the downside? In which case I think there's, a little bit of weakness, but I don't overall see a ton of weakness.
Do you like silver as much as gold, or gold more?
I like gold more. My concern on silver is just that, there's the industrial side, which is, if you look longer term, right, silver is going to perform really, really well. Percentage wise, it usually outperforms gold. But I just think in the near term, and let me bring up the silver chart here, that there's a little bit more uneasiness in my analysis due to the industrial side. And, does the Fed wreck the economy? Does the Fed stall the economy because of them trying to raise rates and cut back on the tapering or speed up the tapering, I should say, to get to zero. So that's the only kind of question mark I have. Now, I do have a buy level on silver that is just golden to me using the golden.
19.
Yeah. So you can see if we do get back to this area right here, you have so much support down here that I would absolutely be a huge accumulator of silver if we did get one more dip.
Yeah, Julian Brigden said that too. I'm looking for it too, and Stellios is looking for it too. You know what?
Yeah,
it better not get there.
Yeah,
and let us, let us get our dream entry.
And that's always. So
I'm going to start a buck above it.
Yep, and that's they always say when everyone's looking for something, it sometimes doesn't happen. So that's always a possibility.
Yeah, and if it does happen, it becomes a meaningless level. It cuts through it like a hot knife through butter. I've seen it a million times. Anyway, really the star of the show in the commodity complex that won't give up the ghost is energy. Your view, perhaps we're getting set to make new highs, and I saw an interesting tweet from Shy Girl, and she's saying, that underground volcano that went off in Indonesia by Bali. She thinks it's going to create a cooling trend. I guess it was massive. And yeah, so, you know, in the atmosphere anyway, she construes that as bullish energy because it's going to cool off global warming for a few years.
Oh,
Maybe we're
interesting.
headed towards a new ice age, Gareth. I've read books about that too.
Hey,
Where are you,
I moved to
man?
Florida recently, so
Oh, you're good.
I should be okay.
Yeah, the high of the day in Miami will be like, 31 degrees in July.
Oh man,
Huh?
how much more south can I go then?
The equator. I
Yeah.
guess that's it. So, I really love the work that Nick does and enjoyed. See, this looks like one more high. We're almost there, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I just brought up the WTI chart, and it looks
Yeah.
like you're getting close to a double top here. So that'll be
Yeah.
interesting to just kind of monitor for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it looks like we could get a drive 3. So you have a great team. I only know, you and Nick from the team, but if you'd like right now, Gareth, you could go to your website and show people how they could, follow you, get involved with you.
Oh,
John
wonderful.
wants me to tell you the last ice age. Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
See, I'm so old. How could I remember?
Yeah. I don't think you're that old, but
Yeah, I'm close.
yeah, I appreciate the time to just show the website. And
Yeah.
in themoneystocks.com, we've been around since 2007 doing this analysis. We keep it as simple as possible, price, pattern, and time.
Yeah.
Basically not with a lot of crazy indicators like MACDs and all this other stuff that they have out there. And it works, the simplicity of it, just looking for a multi-factor setup. So here it is. You have my name here and Nick's name right here. And we each have our 2 services underneath. One is the stock service, so swing trades and daily videos. The other is options. I always say, if generally this is the primary service, this is the one with the most value. We do weekly live broadcasts and daily videos. Options is more meant as an add-on because it's higher risk and there's really no videos with it. So the quality, the values in verified investing alerts, and with Nick, it's bullseye trading alerts. And if you're a day trader, we have a live day trading room every day where we day trade stocks. So it's there. And again, it's always a pleasure to help people and kind of get people to kind of start to understand how amazing the charts can be in terms of teaching and helping us position ourselves. And it's all probabilities. Always remember that, folks.
Yeah.
There's no 100%. It's all probabilities.
The Holy Grail.
Yep.
Holy Grail doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't. We all take losses. It's a matter of, can you put the odds in your favor so you take a lot more wins than losses?
Yeah, the secret is hard work and living through adversity, in my opinion.
That's right. Absolutely.
So you have, Gareth, you're a veteran. You've had your teeth kicked in. And
so many times.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you speak with coming from experience, and appreciate you and Nick. And thank you for coming on. I hope that 2022 is the best year ever for you and your company.
Hey, and I hope the same to you guys. Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Gareth. Good hunting, buddy.
You too. Take care.
All right. Take it easy. Gareth Soloway at ITMS. You can follow him there, and Nick. And that's a wrap for us. I believe there's going to be a Morning Edge broadcast this morning. So we're about 25 minutes away from that. See everyone for Turnaround Tuesday. Remember, everyone, we still have that pricing going on. So I think this might be the last week. So crack your piggy bank. Don't just count your pips, count your blessings. And I'll see everyone tomorrow. This is Forex Guest Hunter signing off. I have to go hunting. Adios. Okay, see you guys. Hi, Lydia.